Hello all, this is CuJo06241 coming at you with a review of Assassin's Creed 3. Now, I know it's a bit late, but I literally just beat the game, and I know I couldn't have beat it at a more crucial time. Um, I'm gonna step to the side a bit on this. I'm pretty sure we all heard the horrifying news about what took place in Newtown, Connecticut this past Friday at Sandy Hook Elementary School. I just gotta say that my condolences, my thoughts, and my sympathy all goes out to the victims, the loved ones, and the families. I words cannot express how sorry I am to hear this news. How sorry we all are to have heard this. I'm sure it was a very tragic incident and a very dark day. Um, well, back to the review. Um, Assassin's Creed 3. I'm gonna break this up into three parts. I'm not gonna spoil anything. This is spoiler free. I just want to say that this is safe. But as I was saying, I'm going to break this up into three different sections. I'm going to talk about the gameplay. I'm going to talk about the story, of course, without spoiling. And I'm going to talk about the characters. All right, let's get this party started. The gameplay was, well, it was what typical Assassin's Creed is. It seemed a bit more stiff than others. Like, there were parts where I'd have to run around guards and I'd have to jump off certain things to hide. And, I would end up hopping off the building altogether, or I would end up, slowing down and losing something. Um, so it's a bit stiff, but it's pretty easy to get used to. At least that's my opinion. I think it's a bit stiff, but I was able to work with it. I was able to beat the game, and I must also point out I have 100% synchronization on everything. That's something else I'm going to get into. Um, the optional goals for every mission. Now, these are goals that you don't have to do, but if you want to get 100% sync on any missions, you have to do these goals. I just want to say some of them are beyond ridiculous. Like I remember I was doing a mission where I had to sneak on a boat, a couple of boats, and the optional goal was to not be detected and to air assassinate a grenadier. Well, there were so many guards. It was very hard for me to avoid any of them, and it was really stressing. I had to redo it 100 times. I had to look at some guides on YouTube. Um, and I mean, YouTube was something I turned to a lot for this. It's very complicated, and that's okay. The challenge is good, but oh my God, it just makes some of them makes you want to pull your hair out. It's really stressing. Um, so yeah, it's a handful. It's a game that really tests your patience, and that's what Assassin's Creed really is. It's all about patience. Well, um, oh, and this one, the countering system, you don't have to be blocking while doing it. And to me, it's very fluent, it's very easy, and all in all satisfying. So the gameplay overall, I'd say it's satisfying. It's a bit stressing and it will test your patience, but I say go for it. It's really good. Now, for the story. Now, I did say this was spoiler free, so I'm gonna do this to the best of my ability without spoiling anything. Um, well, it was very it was very jam packed, I should say. A lot is going on, and I don't remember it dragging at all. Something's going on every time. Um, there were a lot of plot twists. There was a lot of story to it. There was a lot, a lot to take in. It was very interesting. Definitely worth the wait. Definitely met my expectations, and all in all enjoyable. And as for the ending, I won't give that away, but it's very open, and I do believe there will be another game. I mean, there kind of has to be, because trust me, when you beat this game, you'll probably be thinking the same thing I am. You know, like, what's next? What's going on? What's gonna happen? 1,000 questions. So it follows the same path that Brotherhood and Revelations and, well, pretty much all of them left. You're left with 1,000 questions. It's on a cliffhanger, which just makes it more enjoyable, in my opinion. That pretty much wraps up everything about the story. Like I said, I won't give anything away. Story was very enjoyable and definitely worth the playing and the stress that I had to go through to see what would happen. Now for the characters. Well, the main character, Connor, well, the new assassin, Connor. A lot of my friends seem to not like him. They think he's a dickhead, that he's ruthless. Well, I for one, I like him. I think that no nonsense, no bullshit, you know, commanding attitude. I enjoyed that personally. I thought it was really good, and I thought it was a great quality for an assassin to have. He's not afraid to take charge, and well, but he's definitely not my favorite. I still like Ezio more, but Connor is up there. He's really awesome. Well, there's another character. Connor's father, Hatham Kenway, is another interesting character. I don't want to get too much into him because then I'll have to spoil some of the plot, and I don't want to do that. But he's quite the interesting character, and if you've played this game, you should probably know what I'm talking about. So yeah, not much I can say without giving away the story, and I promised I wouldn't do that. So all I could say about Hatham is he's interesting. Connor's mother, I don't remember her name. You don't see much of her, but she's a very strong and very intense woman. One that you know, like to an extent. You don't see her much. The last character I want to get into is Charles Lee. Oh, I'm sorry. There's another character. Your master, Achilles Davenport. Quite the character he is. He's a mentor. He's a mentor. He trains you, and well, for a guy that walks on a guy that needs a stick to walk, he sure can kick ass. Now the last character I'm going to focus on is Charles Lee. Charles Lee is the main bad guy of the game, and when you get to him at the end of the game, it's very satisfying. You just want to see this guy die. I mean, he's such an asshole. Definitely a good villain for the game, though. So yeah, that's about it as far as characters that I want to get into go. Now you might you might want more out of me with this, and I mean that's okay. But all I really wanted to say is that this is a very enjoyable game. It's a very great addition to the Assassin's Creed series, and overall it was very enjoyable. I highly recommend it. Now, as for my rating, well, I'm gonna give it 9.25 out of 10. Bit different, but yeah. Well, that concludes everything I had to say about this, and I will leave you with this. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.